Doing a video about morning routines. I started doing a morning routine about 15 years ago, 17 years ago. And the reason why I started doing a morning routine was because I knew I needed to do something to help my focus to create um, something in my day that had me start off by being focused about what my intention was. And how I started mine was through years of meditation. And after meditating first thing in the morning, one of the things that I would do would be to take and sit down and write out my thoughts after my meditation. And they were quite inspiring. In fact, so inspiring that I mentioned them to my accountant, what I was doing. And he said, why don't you send out something to me every week or so, and and then I'll pass it on to our people, some of the guys in our men's group. So out of that ended up, I started this process of once a week sending it out to Larry, and ended up calling it or naming it my T4TW, or my thought for the week, which quickly grew into, within, well, what, 3 or 4 months from the men's group I'm in, uh, morphing out into about 80 people within about 2 to 3 months. But getting back to the point about um, what your routine is in the morning, and I'll get to the routine for the evening, but the routine for the morning I found helped me. And whether you meditate or not, I happen to meditate, and the the thing about the routine in the morning is, and it was actually through a really good friend of mine, Steve, who, having a phone conversation with him about something he mentioned in our men's group about setting your intention for the day. Now, I'd never ever, I mean, I'm ADHD. Like, I will go off onto a story, but I will always bring it back. And, you know, but being ADHD, I never thought about setting an intention for the day. So in this conversation with Steve, he said every morning for years, he said, I do a form of meditation. And what I do is I look at what I know is my list of things that I'm out to accomplish for the day. He was a business owner as well as I was, as at the time. And he said, I set my intention for the day for how I want my day to go. And this really does go to and follow the the whole thread of this conversation through where you want to have your day go. And I really found it beneficial for me, and I'd love you, for anybody that does something along this lines of setting their intention for the day and having a routine in the morning, how that's impacted your life, how that's impacted your relationships with your, like, wife or husband or children or parents or work environment, or in your social life. Um, Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on is about a routine for the evening. Uh, and here's a funny story. I would always get over when my mom and dad moved back to the city. I wouldn't always, but every now and again, I happened to be over at my mom and dad's. And one of the things that I knew about watching television in the evening, is like, I stopped, I don't know, a long, long, long time ago. I quit watching television about 2 or 3 hours before I went to bed, because whatever and this really does come out of Buddhism, the impressions you go to bed with, in, when you lay your head down on your pillow, the impressions in your mind usually come out of the television that you've watched for the last hour or two, half an hour, 3 hours of television that you've consumed. And when you go to bed with those impressions in your mind, because people go, oh God, why did I have that dream last night? It was like, holy, what the hell was that? Start a diet. You're like I did. If you want, start a diet of shutting the TV off 2 hours minimum before you go to bed. And that starts your routine for before you go to bed. And then, like, for instance, what I do is I meditate before I go to bed. I meditate for between 15, 20 minutes to a half an hour, just to quiet my mind, just to take and quiet my mind down, so that it allows for the it can be the craziness of the day, or the overwhelming things of the day, or the business things you've got going for the day. Oh, I could be doing it the other direction too. But it allows for your mind to quieten down, so that when you do go to climb into bed, you are more relaxed. You're more, I want to say, softened up, but you're not carrying the burdens of the day into your dream world, into your sleep. um, I know that from when I first started meditating yeah, I'm a long time meditator. When I first started meditating in 1997, and I mean meditating full time, full on, joined a group, have been looking at different meditations from different, organizations, and I found this really little, small, tiny group that were one of the four Buddhistic groups, like out of Tibet, and it just, for me, it was just like a puzzle piece fell into place, and I started meditating with this group every Wednesday, and I started meditating for 15 minutes in the morning after I first got up, and 15 minutes before I went to bed. And that became my routine, to meditate, so that I was letting the the tensions, the worries, the nonsense of the day go from my dominant thoughts. So, getting back to my dad, I would be over at my parents and be around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm getting ready to head home, and back to my wife and kids. And just love to go over and see my folks, because, I didn't see them for a long time, years and years and years, except at Christmas or Easter or Thanksgiving. And so I'm going to walk out of my mom and dad's house, and here's my dad, and he's all settled in his chair, and he's like going to watch Lloyd Robertson on CTV News. Yeah, I'm in Canada, and and I go to say goodbye to my dad, and here be this Lloyd Robertson on TV, and he's talking about, like, it's all the negative, the wars in Syria, and you know you know South America's being overrun, Venezuela's this, and I'm like, Dad, oh my God, you're going to go to bed shortly, and you're having a steady diet. Oh, you don't know. I just want to be informed about what's going on in the world. And I remember, and this happened like repeatedly over the years, where, and not often, but enough that it's like, bing, it's like we get conditioned by our diet of information that comes into our conscious mind, which then filters down in and through into our subconscious mind, and and we don't realize how much of an impact and effect that it has on on how we go through life, how we deal with life, and then especially, more to the point, how we sleep at night. Because I remember there was numerous times where it's like, yeah, my mom saying, oh, your dad, like, he snores like a, freight train coming through, and he tosses and he turns and he flips and he flops. And and I just wanted to bring that up. Like, what is your nighttime routine like? as well as your morning, excuse me, as well as your morning, blah, 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 as well as your morning routine. Um, if you like what I'm saying, leave a comment in the comment section, I guess, and and just give me your thoughts. What do you think of this? What are your thoughts on, our the way we condition our mind and what your routine might be? That's all for me for now. Have a great day.